Have you sanitized your freshwater tank and cleaned your black and gray tanks?
I think that's your job.
I'm going to show you how. Don't go away. Some of you know and some of you don't. You have to sanitize your freshwater tank once a season, and if you're full-time, maybe 3 or 4 times a year.
And don't forget the black and gray tank. It's just as important. If gum and stuff gets built up in your black and gray tank, your sensors aren't going to work properly, and then you're not going to know when you need to dump. I'm Lynn.
And I'm Danny, and welcome to RV America.
Take a quick minute, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like our videos, and feel free to share them with your friends. We got a lot of really good stuff and you're not going to want to miss it.
That's right. Today we're going to show you how to sanitize your freshwater and clean your black and gray tanks.
The easiest way possible.
That's right. Let's get started. All right, let's start with our gray tank. Now the first thing I want you to remember is probably common sense, but always do this on a day that you're about to go to a full hookup campsite. That way you have a place to dump the gray tank, and for that matter the black tank, after you've done this clean out.
Clean your tanks on a day that you're going to be going on a trip. That way the stuff you put in there to clean it gets swished around a lot. Even though I love my Dawn dishwashing liquid, it can cause a few problems if you put it in your tank and go driving for an hour. But we've learned our lesson. So use a dishwasher detergent because it is low suds or no suds basically, and it won't hurt anything because it's safe on all your dishes and your Tupperware. You know it'll be fine on your tank, and it's what's recommended. And you just take about for our size tank, we'll use 1 cup.
We have a 40-gallon tank.
40-gallon tank, and just pour it right down the drain. And our tanks are completely empty, so the water is going to have to run for a little while to get it half full. That's what you want. You want your tank half full with the detergent in there, and that way it can really swish around good and clean the whole inside of it out.
So as Lynn said, a half a tank is what you normally would put in there, so as you're driving around for an hour or two, it's sloshing around because the most buildup is below a half a tank. Now, if you ever have a sensor that is stuck on 2/3 full, then you want to get that water above that 2/3 full sensor so it can slosh around on that too. That way, that's a tip to help you clear out a sensor, especially a higher sensor like 2/3 full.
For the black tank, same things go. Our tank is the size that we have. We use 1 cup. We're using the exact same dishwasher detergent. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pour it in there. And then we're going to take, and Danny's going to go outside to the rinse thing, and he's going to fill it up out there so I don't have to sit and hold the pedal for the next 30 minutes to get water in it. Right, Danny?
That's right.
And then we'll go for another hour's drive. We'll get it at least half full, go for an hour's drive, and then we'll dump it at the campground.
Now, I do want to make sure it's clear. Start with a cleaned out tank. You don't want to have a tank that's 3/4 full or even a quarter full of something that's still floating around. Clean that out, drain your tank, and start with a empty tank. One thing I do want to mention for your gray tank or your black tank, some will put bleach in there. It's okay to do that. I don't do it on a regular basis because there's no need to sanitize those tanks. But if you're getting older, then you can put a little bit of bleach in there. The thing you have to worry about is your rubber gaskets and bleach don't mix. They can cause deterioration of your gaskets and you'll have to replace them quicker. So if you do use bleach, make sure you rinse out your tanks several times to get that bleach out of there. That's why I usually don't use it unless there's an odor. But while we're talking about bleach, let's talk about your freshwater system. I want you to know that you want to use bleach about once a year if you're just going out for the season or going out for the summer. Maybe twice if you got extended seasons in the south. Or if you're a full-time RVer, You might do it 3 or 4 times a year. But you want to sanitize those systems because with the tanks not always being full, sometimes mold or something could start building up in there. That's why you want to keep these clean. So for every 16 gallons, you want to use 1/4 cup of bleach, or 4 ounces. So with ours being a 40-gallon tank, if you do the math, we would need to use 5 ounces of bleach. All right, just another little tip. We've taken the 5 ounces of bleach and we've added it to a 2-liter soda bottle, and just use that. You want it to go in your freshwater system diluted. So you can use a funnel with a 2-liter bottle. It works pretty good with us. It fits down nicely, and we just pour it in. So it works perfectly where we don't have to get the funnel, but a lot of people use a funnel. This is just a hack we've used. All right, so now we have the bleach in there, and what we're going to do is we'll take our potable water hose and start filling up our fresh tank. And we're going to fill that all the way, because where the other tanks you want sloshing around, your black and your gray, this one you want to get all the way up. That way that bleach touches top areas that might have a little growth. That's where the growth is going to be on those. So you want to fill this all the way. So one thing I don't want you to forget, make sure you bypass your hot water heater. That way the chlorine's not getting inside your hot water heater. So now that we got the bleach in the freshwater tank, we're going to make sure that the bleach water, the bleach solution, gets through each faucet, through each line. We'll start with cold water and let it run through till we smell bleach. Now, do you smell the bleach there? We're going to take the hot water for each faucet and do this. And what you're doing is pulling that water through the lines, and that way you got a little bit of chlorine solution in each line. So you have the chlorine solution in each line. So we have that. I'm going to go ahead and check the shower and the bathroom faucets. So the last thing I want to tell you about having the bleach solution in here is let it soak for at least 12 hours. That way it gets to eat away any kind of crud that might be in there.
The next day.
So we let the water sit in the tanks, both the black and the gray, overnight. We did travel about an hour and a half and to let it slosh back and forth. And now we're ready to drain both tanks. So it's fairly clear. Now we're going to do the gray. We see some gunk coming out that maybe it got off the walls of the tank. And that concludes the gray and black tank. We're going to finish talking to you about the freshwater tank in just a moment. So we let the chlorine solution soak overnight, sitting in the line, sitting in the tank. And this morning we drained the freshwater tank. We added new water into the freshwater tank, and we ran it until no odor at all from the chlorine. Sometimes it might take more than one tank of rinsing it out, but make sure you always rinse that out.
Yeah, ran it through the faucets until the odor was no longer there in the faucets too.
Right, and the same as we did, run the cold line, run the hot line of each faucet. So we did the kitchen, our bathroom, and our shower.
When you're finished, don't forget to turn back on your hot water bypass, or do you turn off the hot water bypass? I don't know. Do it opposite of whatever you did before, so that you can have hot water when you need it.
No longer need to bypass the hot water is what you're saying.
Right.
So we'll put it
That's
back.
what I'm saying.
And don't forget to drop in your Happy Camper or other chemical you're using into your tank to start it off right.
I did that.
Oh, good.
I remembered.
You surprised me. So, she didn't even need the checklist. We'll link the checklist videos up top and down below.
Take a quick minute, hit the subscribe button.
And hit that notification bell, because we've got quite a few great videos lined up coming up in the next few weeks, and you won't want to miss those.
That's right. Give us a thumbs up if you like our video, and share it with a friend.
Yeah, if you know someone new to the RV business, or someone just loves the RV lifestyle, share it with them.
Until next time, God bless and many safe travels.
And go RV America!